Hey everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors and happy Thanksgiving. Now, as we mentioned on last week's show, we were all out with cameras rolling on November 15th for the opening day of firearm deer season. On this week's show, we're going to take a look at my footage. I spent some time in K-Pack up in the Thumb area with a farm family. We had some exciting things happening out in the blind out there. You won't want to miss that. And then we headed to a local buck pull to hear some of those great stories too. Lots of fun on this week's show. Make sure you stay tuned and join us. I'm Jenny Olson-Silik, and it's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's destination since 1988. Featuring varieties of homemade sausage, jerky, brats, and gourmet entrees. Holiday gift boxes can be assembled in-store or online. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By Discount Door Company, featuring residential and commercial garage doors, door styles, and build-your-own design tool available at discountdoorsgr.com. Discount Door Company, serving West Michigan and the Grand Rapids area for over 25 years. By Hemisphere Design Works, a Muskegon manufacturer of sportsman's outdoor products for over 30 years, featuring the Terrain line of hard-sided hunting blinds designed for quick setup and removal with quiet operation. For more information and other products, hemispheredesignworks.com.
Soaking in the rich tradition of Michigan hunting for over 30 years, Vanguard is proud to sponsor our friends at Michigan Out of Doors TV.
In the pre-dawn hour of November 15th, I headed over to the Stever family farm north of K-Pack in St. Clair County. There were some slow movers in deer camp this morning, but Lindsay Stever was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for her very first opening day. Morning, Lindsay.
Good morning.
Well, what are you thinking? Are you pumped?
Very.
Yeah? Okay, what's our plan?
First opening day, we're gonna head out over to the bean field and look for a little food plot we've got growing back there. And hopefully we're gonna see a big buck today.
Awesome. So this is your first opening day for firearm deer.
Very first.
How did that happen?
So we've got two young boys who are 4 and 6, and for years it was me staying home on opening day, and Luke would be up at deer camp, and I was home with the little ones. And so this year he and I had talked, and he said, I think it'd be an awesome year for you to kind of go out and experience opening day. And it has been just such a blast, and the stories and experiences and just the excitement of opening day has been so much fun. It is different. I mean, you see driving over here, we saw all different trucks and decals, and people that had equipment ready to go out for opening day. And so, like we had talked about this morning, you sit in the blind and you think there's so many people at this moment doing the exact same thing. And so it was really special to be out here opening day.
Lindsay's husband Luke was sitting a couple hundred yards away through the woods. Over here, Lindsay's beanfield hadn't seen much action this morning.
So it's about 9 o'clock on opening day, and it's been pretty quiet. We've heard a lot of shots in the area. Actually, my dad just texted me and said that he had shot a nice buck. So we're excited about that. We're no action yet. We had one doe that came out on the north side, but she turned around and ran back in. So we're still hopeful that we're going to have a good morning and excited to see what comes out. It wasn't until about 9:45 that we had a nice buck stroll in, and it was something we weren't even looking at the time, having to look up and see him. When we initially saw him, he was walking south. He was just kind of a slow trot, just walking along. Head was up, nose was up, so he wasn't chasing a doe. He was just kind of moseying along. And then we thought we had lost him. You'll see on the footage, he kind of walks behind a brush, a group of kind of these bushes. And we thought he was going to be gone into the woods. And then lo and behold, he pops back out, and Jenny did a call and stopped him in his tracks. And I had a couple seconds and got such a great shot on him. And we just had a blast. It was so much fun.
Can you see him okay? Yeah.
That was a nice buck.
Yes. That happened fast.
No toe warmers today.
See, all you had to do is get those apple slices out.
That was awesome. Sweet.
I couldn't tell through the little viewfinder, but just
I think I got him.
get on him pretty good. Right in the shoulder?
Yeah.
Sweet.
We'll see. We gotta text Luke now, let him know that we shot a buck. See how long we're gonna wait before we go after him and check him out.
Awesome.
I started hunting when I was probably my oldest son's age, around 6 years old, so in kindergarten. My dad has been hunting his whole life and introduced me to the sport. It was something that I wanted to try initially. It grew into a passion that I really enjoy. I mean, if you're not a hunter, you may not understand, but being out in the wilderness and just experiencing nature and the animals and the experience and the excitement of it all, like I said, it's really just grown to be a passion and something I can share with my dad, something I've passed down to my boys, and just a great bonding experience for family and something that we can continue to pass along. Oh my gosh. No way, that is an 8. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, it's an 8.
Beautiful. Look at that. Nice job.
That is a nice buck.
Well, your family finally let you hunt on opening day, and you got it
I
done.
got her done.
Nice 8-point.
Good first opening day, I'd say.
Is this your biggest buck?
Yeah,
Sweet.
biggest buck. Look at that.
Good job. You got it done.
Got her done.
Opening
We
day.
just needed a couple hours on opening day, and this buck strolled in quick, out of nowhere it felt like, and before we knew it, we had a blood trail to track him.
Lindsay's dad, Greg, joined Luke and rode out to help drag her buck out. And they had just retrieved Greg's deer in the gator, so we were able to check out his buck too. It was a great father-daughter moment of celebration. As it turns out, they were the only two in camp to connect with bucks this morning.
It's a big body.
Yeah, but it's probably 140 pounds.
How'd your morning go, Luke?
Oh, well, I had probably about 40 minutes before first light, there was a buck chasing doe. And I knew it was a buck because I could, see both of them, and his nose was down. He was tracking them all over the food plot. And then I had like a non-legal spike come in, and that was about as eventful as it got for me.
So my dad, he was hunting just south of where we were at, over an open field. And he had a lot of activity this morning, and he ended up putting a great shot on a nice 6-point. And shortly after they found his, we got a shot on ours. So we were within probably, I would say, an hour of one another. And that was really exciting to experience that with him.
Luke, tell me what the plan is for this afternoon.
All right, I want to go back out to the same spot as you guys were. And I think it'll be pretty cool. Lindsay has a doe tag. I shot a buck earlier this year, so I'm going to save the rest of the horns for these guys. I won't get greedy. And see if we can get a double doe on camera. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And then if a nice buck comes out, you're fair game.
All right.
So we'll see what happens.
All right. Something should happen out there with all that.
Yeah, it's snowing like crazy too.
Yeah.
It should be fun. We're on standing beans. We got 4 acres of standing beans with brassicas and turnips and stuff mixed in. It's a sweet feast mix from up in the UP. I get it from a guy up there, so
Nice.
Should be fun.
That spot was the only standing beans left on the 2,000 acres, and so we've been kind of saving that sanctuary for today, which was really exciting. And we were, at least I was prepared to see a lot of action.
This afternoon was starting out nothing like the morning hunt. Just moments after stepping into the blind, we started seeing deer moving through the mixture of beans and weeds off to our right. The heavy snow made it tough to see just what we were looking at, but we were finally able to make out a couple of fork-horn bucks out in the tall stuff. I was the only one who was after an antlered deer, but I was looking for something a little bigger on this beautiful piece of property here.
So we are at my husband Luke, his family farm, his dad Dale, and his parents. This is their farm that they hunt over in St. Clair County. So it's the city of K-Pac, and the farm name actually is Lynn Island Farms. And so we've got 2,000 acres of all different crops. We've got corn, sugar beets, soybeans, and where we were hunting, there's a soybean field that was cut just north of us, and then we had some beans we were sitting on as well. So some great property with family and friends that, you know, we've thankfully had the opportunity to really enjoy together. Being that Lynn Island Farms is a crop farm, you know, there's always every year issues with overpopulation, you know, deer that can really get in the way of combining when you're trying to get the crops off the fields. And so, you know, this is also just a great way to really kind of help eliminate some of that stress for the farmers and help keep the population down where they need it.
What's out there? It looks like a button buck, a yearling doe, and then a more mature one. But they keep moving back and forth.
These 3 deer were playing quite the shell game with Lindsay. Every time she'd get on the biggest doe of the group, they would move and one would walk in front of or behind another, making it a little challenging to dial in on the one she wanted. After a lot of patience, Lindsay had the big doe in her 450's crosshairs.
She crashed right there.
She did. That's her.
I think he got her. Good job.
After all the commotion out the right side of the blind, we were sure nothing else would be moving over there, so Luke stayed set up out the front window and I traded places with Lindsay on the right side of the blind. But sure enough, more does showed up in the same direction as Lindsay's, so Luke and I did a quick and graceful game of musical chairs so that he could dial in on a doe.
Oh, I can't see him yet. Darn it. All right, the one on the right.
Okay.
Ready?
Right. Right.
We got a deadly couple here.
That's fun.
Tell me what happened.
Oh, we had 2 does come out, and my wife just shot, 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Same spot. They came out the same spot Lindsay's. They were standing at the same spot where Lindsay shot hers. Yeah, so this was Jenny's spot, and we were facing to the west, and those deer came out. So we had to switch around, and I think it probably took us 5 minutes to move chairs. And yeah, Lindsay fell out the back of the blind. And the tripod chair, she wasn't used to that. But I think we got 2 does down within the same spot. So now it's Jenny's turn. We got 45 minutes left, 40 minutes left. Yeah, let's see if we can get a big old buck to come out.
Well, opening day had come to an end without that big buck showing up, but that was quite all right. To take 3 deer out of the same blind in one day was unbelievable. The snow was really coming down now, and our flashlight beams weren't traveling very far. That made it a little challenging trying to get a landmark off in the distance for where the does had been standing when both Lindsay and Luke shot. After some careful searching, we located the blood trail for Luke's deer, which ended up being a big mature doe. A quick search in the other direction led to the blood trail for Lindsay's doe, too. With 2 more deer down, this farming family was happy to make a dent in the population and control a little more of their crop damage. She's going into the straight ahead in this thick stuff.
There's blood there.
You got this pretty good blood, Luke. Oh my word. She is way back in here. And being a farmer, I mean, this is
great. It's good management for the herd and get some of the does out of here. I used to probably shoot more does than most of the neighbors around here. It's just as fun. I enjoy it, and I'm glad my wife got a doe tag this year. Now she's what we call tagged out. So,
So what are you guys doing with the meat?
I'm going to donate this one. I usually try to donate a couple a year. You know, we're fortunate that, you know, my son, he's 6, and he got one during the youth hunt. And then I shot a 8-point a couple weeks ago, and then we just shot my doe and this one. So we'll donate a couple to some local charities. Give it to Mr. Steve Francis over at the Country Smokehouse.
Awesome. Well, you guys are doing it right out here.
Yeah, it's fun. It's all about family and getting outdoors.
That's right. What a great opening day out in the woods. I hunted at home on day 2 with no luck, and that night we headed down to Richmond to the dealership's buck pull there. Luke and Lindsay had never been to a buck pull before, so they decided to come see what it's all about and brought Lindsay's buck to hang on the pole too. Hey guys!
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going? Any luck today out there?
We saw a few, passed a few.
You guys have a lot of deer hanging now.
Yeah, we do. My buddy Tim just got one tonight, shot a doe, so that's good.
That's 6 deer at camp.
Yep, that's right.
We're having
Yeah.
an awesome couple days.
Yep.
Well, we were finally able to bring a buck to the buck pole in the Michigan Out of Doors truck. At noon on opening day, my husband Matt spotted this beautiful 8-point and put the stock on him. It's Matt's biggest Michigan buck. He's a little shy about the camera and wouldn't let me get an interview, though. The buck pole was filling up fast, so I caught up with Kim Jugowitz to get the lowdown.
We had a good turnout last night. We had 16 on the pole. Last night we got about 500 people, so a little bit down from normal years, but the weather last night was kind of crummy. So we're hoping tonight to get about 600-700 people out here. So we've got all of our vendors set up, we got all the games going, the bounce house, the crafts, the food, everything's all ready. So we're looking forward to it. The prize package is phenomenal. You know, we have several vendors that have donated every year. You know, Country Smokehouse donates, After the Hunt donates, VF Sports donates, Grace Sports donates. I mean, you're getting we're thinking about $1,000 worth of prizes for getting, you know, #1 buck in our buck poll. So another reason that this event is so big is that Ram sponsors it. And of course, you know, their trucks and hunters all need trucks. And it's a good venue to be able to get our product out there and for people to see it. So there's just not much that people do for community events anymore. You know, this is not your typical community event. We're not doing Christmas, we're not doing Thanksgiving that most people do. This is a Michigan tradition, and it just passes on from generation to generation, and we are right in the middle of hunting area. So it fits the bill. As we all know, November 15th is a Michigan holiday, opening day, so that's our holiday. That's the one we're celebrating.
Any hunter who hung a buck on the pole got a free official score from Commemorative Bucks of Michigan, who was here scoring on site. One happy hunter was Tom Burgess of Macomb, Michigan, who took 2 bucks, both an 8-point and a 10-point, within minutes of each other, and was here to tell the exciting story.
Opening day, opening morning. I was just hunting, and then the next thing you know, there's a buck 150 yards away. He had his head up in the air, sniffing. I sprayed some doe heat out in the morning. He was like, just had his neck up, and then I pulled up the muzzleloader. I hit him right here, 150 yards. So he dropped right there. And then about 15 minutes later, I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm like, I gotta go. And he's like, what? He goes, I got another one playing around with my 8-pointer. So I get down, post up. I looked out there, and then I didn't know if this one was getting up again, or I didn't know what was going on. I put the scope on the gun, and I'm like, what was hooked up to this deer or what? But he was just throwing this one around like a rag doll, back and forth. And I put the crosshairs on the deer's chest, shot it, and saw this one flying this way and this one dropping this way. So walked up, tears in my eyes, and this one was laying there and this one was laying there.
That's amazing. Have you ever shot 2 bucks on opening day?
No. The first time for everything, you know?
That is so cool. Congratulations.
You know, especially 2 beauties, too.
Bucks.
Yeah.
How old are you, Jenna?
I'm 23.
23?
Yep.
Is this your first buck?
This is my first deer, yep. First deer altogether.
First deer?
Yep.
Cool. So somebody said you like to do other outdoor stuff too.
Yes, grew up trapping, a little bit of hunting here and there, but this is my first deer, so it's pretty exciting today.
How did it all go down?
We were actually watching a few doe working back into the trail, and I was watching them. They kind of disappeared, and I turned my head to the left, and I saw him poking out, and he was maybe 50 yards away. And I turned to Tom, and I said, what do I do? And he's like, shoot it. So I just took a shot, and I got lucky. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
What do you think of this buck pull?
That's awesome. I love it.
Out of all the years I've been hunting, this is my first time ever going to a buck pull.
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
Mine too, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And?
It's awesome. Seeing all these deer that roaming around that you never see in real life sometimes.
And hear the stories.
Yeah. See them all here is pretty awesome.
All right, Danny, when did you shoot this buck?
This morning, about 7:45 a.m.
Okay. How'd that all unfold?
He actually popped out and was running. I was trying to get him stopped. He obviously couldn't hear me. I yelled. He stopped. He was out about 110. Turned away, put it on his neck, and dropped him one shot.
Nice. Is this your biggest Michigan buck?
No, absolutely not.
No?
No.
One hunter who was here with his biggest buck ever was Josh Dahmer of Waterford, who tagged a buck that measured 166 inches and ended up winning the men's category and the grand prize at the buck pull tonight.
It was yesterday, opening day evening, right after I got out of work. I was in my work clothes, okay? I put my bibs on and jumped into my ground blind I built. I was sitting there with my crossbow, and this sucker walked up out of nowhere, and I didn't even have time to react. I just shot him. I shot, and this deer was only 10 yards away from me.
How far did he go?
50 feet.
No way.
Not yards, feet. This is a heavy rack.
Is that your biggest buck?
This is my biggest buck.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stacy Schramm. I'm actually a local. I live about 5 miles north of Richmond.
Yeah, and when did you get your buck?
I got him about 7:30 opening day.
Whoa. So is this your biggest buck?
Yep, biggest one.
Tell me what happened out there.
So basically just walked out behind the barn while I was going to go out to my blind and was just standing there taking a look, and off to the left, on the tree line, I was like, he was just there, he was chasing a doe and stopped, and that was about it. It was just a second.
Congrats to Stacy, who won the ladies division at Thursday night's buck pull here. Next up was Jeff Zanetti with a nice 11 point.
8 point, and he was standing there and he just came out. It was that quick. Stood up, rubbing his head on an apple tree, came down, and that was it.
And how far away was he?
About 30 yards.
30 yards. What were you using?
44 mag rifle.
One shot? Did he go down?
He went down with one, but I had to shoot him again.
Okay, cool. Did you know that this buck was out there?
No.
Never saw it.
Nope. First time ever.
Is this your biggest buck?
Yes.
Cool.
I was sitting out there waiting with me and my dad, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to see anything. Because we've seen 2 1 points and probably, I want to say, 5 does. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to lean back. And I leaned back and happened to look in a corner, which is probably 170 yards away. I look over, I'm like, oh, it has a rack. So I tapped my dad on the knee. He looked, he's like, it's a nice 8. It took about 10 minutes to come in to the food plot, which is 100 yards. And I ended up shooting them, and I walked over there and seen.
What were you thinking?
I was excited.
Buck fever?
Yep. Oh, I was shaking a lot.
Laid on the grunt call about 10 times, and had a doe close by, and he came screaming in, and that was that.
He got a shot about 175 yards. I put the X on him, and he dropped. Went up to him, pulled his head out of the grass, and this is what it was.
Congratulations to all the successful hunters who were able to fill their tags in this first week of firearm deer season, and good luck to all who are still out there hunting. This incredible heritage that we all share only grows stronger with each passing season. We deer hunters here in Michigan are fortunate to have this great privilege to pass on to the next generations, and it's great to see it alive and well here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Well, special thanks to everybody that made that hunt possible, and thanks to Jenny for bringing us that and that great buck pull. Now make sure that you are joining us over the next couple of weeks. We have a lot of really good opening day stories that we're going to be bringing you. Next week will be my hunt from the Pigeon River State Forest area on state land, and we're going to stop in at the Indian River buck pull as well. Lots of good stuff coming over the next several weeks. And if you're watching this on Thursday night, again, we want to just say happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you're getting to spend some good time with family and friends. Hopefully, if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by By Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or greenstonefcs.com. By the locally owned and operated members of the Michigan Petroleum Association and the National Oil Heat Research Alliance, who provide oil heat with bioheat, a renewable fuel source designed to benefit the home and the environment. Details on the web at useoilheatmichigan.com. By Jay's Sporting Goods, with locations in Clare and Gaylord. Jay's has been serving the Michigan outdoor enthusiast since 1971, with a wide variety of outdoor products. The gear, the knowledge, the tradition of Jay's. On the web at jaysportinggoods.com. By Showspan, producing consumer shows including the Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit, January 10th through the 13th at Novi Suburban Collection Showplace. The show features fishing tackle, trips, boats, and seminars from top pros. The Ultimate Fishing Show, Novi, January 10th through the 13th. Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. George,